decade, I often wondered what makes some practitioners thrive, whereas some practitioners don't, despite the fact that they are clinically and skilled just as equally good as each other. And I often wondered what makes us not thrive, us being Chinese medicine practitioners, as much as physios, chiros, or GPs, whilst our scope of medicine is bigger than all of these people. Why is that? Why are we not thriving? My friend, this is the question that brought me to create this course. As a clinic owner, I've seen many practitioners come and go, and as a practitioner who managed to find her own success in my own right, what I envisioned, what I wanted to achieve as a clinician, I have done that, where it's giving me sustainable income, and I have patients who's as committed to their healing as I am. You see, how did I get here? It was not my clinical skills, although that's something that I have been working on a lot last 10 years, but that's not what set me apart. When I actually stopped and considered what made me successful, is actually some very basic fundamentals of marketing and business, which I am going to share with you here. Age of 80, Master Chu, you may know him as the scalp acupuncture Dr. Chu, is still treating hundreds of patients a week. He's traveling around the world teaching acupuncturists like myself how to use his own acupuncture, scalp acupuncture. The three things that you need in order to bring clinical success. He considered this question for a little while, and then he said, correct diagnosis, frequency of treatments, and duration of treatments. He went on to say, knowing what to do when the patient comes in, is sitting in front of you, is very important. But knowing how to get them to come in as often as they need and for as long as they need is another very, very important element of getting successful results. You see, we often overlook at the combination of these two. Dr. Chu treats his patients at least 3 times, up to 5 times a week, for months on end. Neurological disorders that he deals with requires him to see patients this frequently and this many times. There's no magic bullet. We are doing slow medicine. We need, just like any other prescription medication, we need the right diagnosis and we need the right dosage of the medicine. To build a thriving practice, we need 4 wheels. First is sustainable, systemic new patient flow. Second is patient retention. And third is mindset cultivated in trust. And fourth is potent medicine. And if you are listening to me right now, I would assume that you are a Chinese medicine practitioner or body worker or some kind of healer. So I am going to assume that you actually have potent medicine with you. Maybe you are full of doubt about your medicine or your ability to do the medicine as the dispenser of the medicine because you have not got enough evidence to tell you that you can do this. So this falls onto the cultivation piece. It's got nothing to do with the potency of the medicine, because if you had flood of people coming in from tomorrow, I am sure what you know will get them better. And this is an experience that I have had long time ago when I first graduated TCM course, which I'm going to tell you later on about this detailed story. As a new graduate, I did manage to book 30 patients a day. As a new graduate, I was treating very severe conditions, 30 of them a day for months. So how did I get to do this? Well, I'm going to tell you how I did it so you can do it too. So these are the 4 very important factors that you need in order for thriving practice that moves forward. Before we get into finding your own vision so that you can have clarity about where you're going, first of all, I'm going to stop you and I'm going to create this space for us to actually consider the very, very important thing moving forward. What are the stories that come up for you when you think about your dream clinic, your dream practice? What is the story that comes up there? This story identification is going to be a very important part of this whole journey. We dive into finding and accessing your vision so that you can have the clarity about where you're going in this journey of building that thriving practice. I want you to pay attention to if there is any kind of resistance that's coming up for you. If you think about what is your dream clinic, dream practice look like? If I ask you this, what kind of feeling comes up for you? Is there coiling, any sense of contraction happening? So before we actually go into trying to access the vision, I say we need to do this most important work piece that we are going to do now. Is there any story that's coming up for you? Stories such as, oh no, I can't do that. No, that's not for me. She can do that, but not I. Is there any stories like that coming up for you? Well, my friend, recognize it. Identify what it is that's coming up for you right this moment when you think about, dreaming about your ideal practice. Not yet, it's too late, it's too early, I don't know enough. Any of these stories, invite it. And what I want you to do is to jot that down because we're going to have you process them. You see, the Taoist philosophy tells us that the outer world is the representation of the inner world. The macrocosmos is the manifestation of the microcosmos. What's happening in your spirit, in your mind, is what's reflected out into your patient number, your bank balance, the cleanness of your room, how many things that you have. If your patient numbers are low, you're not busy, my friend, there's something that's blocking you in your subconsciousness. And because it's not busy and you're not aware of what's happening inside your own subconsciousness, your mind tries to come up with 100 different reasons why you're not busy. Because the world doesn't want it. The world doesn't recognize my medicine. World thinks my medicine is not a good medicine. People don't want this. People don't want to pay for it. It's because I am not experienced enough, because my service is too expensive. All of these different reasons that you think of are the justification of why you're not busy rather than real reasons. So what we're going to do right now is for you to actually recognize and come up with what is this invisible break that you've been holding up for you to be sitting here right now. Because if you're a very busy practitioner, you would not be sitting here. This is not a judgment, but know that you're not busy because there's something that's inside you that's blocking from that abundance to happen. And faster you recognize what that is and process it, reframe it, flip it, turn it around, faster your practice will transform and you get to do what you love doing, which is to help people in a meaningful way. Throughout each module, there's going to be worksheet in each module where I will be encouraging you to actually check in if there's any resistance that's coming up, because I'm going to ask you to send messages to your friends, and I'm going to ask you to ask your patients for referrals. I am going to ask you to do things that you may feel resistant to. That's normal, that's natural, that's why you couldn't do it. The invisible handbrake is inside you. Isn't it great? So we can just put it down so you can move. Okay, so the worksheet, I get very, very excited about this because, my friend, this is the magic. This is where the magic bullet is in your subconsciousness. It's totally in your control. Okay, so worksheet A is where you jot down the stories that's coming up for you. What are the feelings that you get when you have this thought? What is the thought? And what are you trying to do instead of the thing that you are asked to do? Worksheet B gets you to process this story. What are the evidence for the story? What are the evidence against the story? With the evidence against the story, what is then more balanced narrative? And with that, what are you going to do? And worksheet C helps you work out then what are you going to do, and you put that action plan as a result of this processing. To the vision section. I'm very passionate about this because this is actually the first step for you to build the practice of your dreams, for you to actually access what's actually already inside you. The vision is already within yourself. So I am going to hold space for you right this moment so that you can actually access it. If you already have very clear vision about what it is that you want from your practice, how many patients that you want to see, all of that kind of detail, then obviously you can skip it and you can do the worksheet to work out what that number, what that vision looks like. You can just skip about 5 minutes because I'm going to hold space for 5 minutes for those who don't have clarity about what their thriving practice looks like. So when you're ready, I want you to just shake your body a little bit like this and to sit on your seat really comfortably and to land there. And take deep breath in and sigh that out. Another deep breath in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Now, with your eyes closed, I want you to imagine what your thriving practice looks like. I want you to walk into your working space, whether it's a clinic or clinic that you've set up in your house, and move through your ideal day at the clinic, fully flourishing. And this is in 6 months' time. See how many patients you are seeing, what kind of patients you are working with, who do you work with, how busy are you, how many rooms are you running, how full is your schedule. do you feel in your body? What do you see in your patient's eyes? Feel and see and hear all that you've got to see about your ideal day at the clinic, fully thriving, fully flourishing. See all the details in its all glory. And when you're ready, I'm going to bring you back into this space, and I'm going to get you to write down everything that you've seen and that you've felt in that vision onto a piece of paper. You can draw it, you can color it, you can use different textures. Go nuts, be creative, and express all that you've seen in there. Okay, so now that you've scripted it all out and you've seen it all, now what we're gonna do is we're going to translate that vision into numbers so that your mind can anchor to that, and then we can build steps towards it. First step in translating this vision into the numbers is that I want you to consider what would be your ideal patient average visit number is. So if you don't know what this is, it means how many times would you like your patients to come back? In order for you to actually consider that you need to think about what kind of conditions that you are working with in general, right? So if you are a new practitioner in Chinese medicine, so first step of translating your vision into the numbers is that you need to think about and you need to decide on the patient visit average number. So if you are new as an acupuncturist, what I recommend you think about is just 8 treatments as a course of treatment. Of course, my friend, it's depending on how severe this condition is, what kind of condition we are dealing with. And as a Chinese medicine practitioner, I know that you can help anything. So how long is a piece of string? We are not thinking about that. We are not limiting your practice as 8 treatments only. But when you can hold it as a course of treatment, you can offer that to your patient and go, let's book you in for 8 treatment as a course of treatment, and at the end of that, by the end of the treatments, I believe that there can be a massive shift in the condition. With that, we're going to reassess what we are going to do moving forward from there. You see, you can actually anchor and provide a treatment plan that feels all right for you. You cannot, and it's just not very good practice to say to your patients who's asking you, so how many times do I need to come back? Like, long. It doesn't create safety for them or for you. So this is the patient visit average number. If you're a more seasoned practitioner and you've been seeing patients and you've been tracking this, and well done if you are, and you've been seeing patients for 8 times, but you want to work with patients with endometriosis, autoimmune diseases, things like this, more severe anxiety, things that people have been suffering for years onwards, then you want to increase that to 6 months. Then it's 26 if you are seeing the patient once a week. It's 26, 24 weeks treatment. Put those numbers down because I'm going to show you, I'm going to help you frame that so that the patient and you both feel good and held by this treatment plan, as opposed to you feeling like you're trying to sell a package of services like a door-to-door insurance person. We don't want that. I'm going to help you do that later on along the way. But first, you're going to decide what that is going to be. Weekly capacity and how full you want to be. How many shifts are you doing per week, and how many rooms you are doing, and how full would you like to be? You can work that out. And then after that, you want to calculate the monthly average revenue, and you work that out by getting the average revenue figure out of your initial and subsequent treatment price combined. Get that average revenue price, multiply that by how many treatments that you're going to give per whole month, and you're going to have the monthly revenue goal. Lastly, you're going to derive the new patient number goal from that. So out of total revenue goal divided by the number of your PVA, then it's going to give you the number of new clients you need every month in order for the rest to work. Patient alignment worksheet. A lot of practitioners also really resist doing this. They think that it's actually limiting their practice. In fact, it's actually got the opposite effect. As a Chinese medicine practitioner, of course, you can deal with all the conditions in the world. However, when you can actually speak to specific people with specific problems, what it does is that it creates resonance. When you are speaking directly to the problem that your ideal client has, when they are hearing you amongst all the noise in the world, they can hear and they can see themselves in your messaging. So it magnetizes your offer, and it engages those people who actually would benefit from your care. So if there's any stories that's coming up for you of resistance, I encourage you to do the worksheets first before you make yourself do this, because you know what that means. If you do that despite the resistance, you're trying to move forward with the handbrake on. So let's not do that. Lay down the groundwork. You found the clarity in your path, you found the matrix, and you have found your people. Well done. Now I want you to go and schedule 2 hours each week right now and put it into your schedule for you to do this work. Do not rely on your motivation. Oh, I will do it. Our engagement is not gonna work like that. I want you to put 2 hours, and I want you to stay committed. And if you are struggling with any of this, you're very welcome to. And I actually really encourage you to come and join other practitioners at the Business of Tao community on Substack, so that you can actually speak about anything that's coming up for you with them, and you share your wins and all of that. Commit to the 2 hours, share your insight, one insight that you came up with during this 1 week, week 1, in the community, so you're held and you're sharing this journey with other people. Next week, we're gonna dive into doing your short-term marketing plan. We're gonna get you to create this powerful magnetic deal that you're going to use in order to attract your first 5 patients. I am very excited about this, and we are going to delve into more marketing strategies that's gonna make you get busy and robust in your practice. In the meantime, I encourage you to go back from the beginning and to make sure all the modules, all the worksheets are filled out, that you have clarity that you need so that you can take decisive steps from next week. Well done. Remember that the medicine is already inside you, and all you have to do is get out of the way. Okay. See you next time.